When you're new to being a TA, it's easy to feel like you're stuck somewhere between supporting and just keeping out of the way. You want to help, you want to make a good impression, but how do you take initiative without stepping on toes? Here's how to be proactive and professional so you're seen as a valuable team member from day one because you're not just a TA. First, let's start with this: know what's yours to own. Initiative doesn't mean doing everything, it means noticing where you can help and stepping in appropriately. So try this. Ask the teacher early on, is there anything you'd like me to keep an eye on or take responsibility for today? So, if when you get in before the children arrive, you can ask that question. Get to know the routines. The more you understand how the class works, the easier it is to spot the gaps. So you might find that it's a little chaotic when the teacher asks children to get their water bottles because their water bottles are not kept all in one place, say. You're spotting the gaps of where things need tweaking. Look for the little things, tidying resources, checking pencil pots. Are all the pencils sharpened? Reminding a child gently to put their jumper on before going out. These are tiny moments of initiative that really help because they all add up. As they say, every little helps. These are all things that you'll start to say that the teacher won't have to say. Now, there's a fine line between being proactive and taking over, so let's look at that further so you can avoid it. You don't need to lead everything. In fact, part of your strength isn't being the lead adult, it's being the sharp eyed support. Because when the lead adult is leading, that's what they're focusing on. But you, as support, can be looking around, seeing what's going on, seeing what needs to be done. That's maybe going under the radar. Here's how to show initiative without stepping on the teacher's toes. Use quiet cues. If a child is off task, try moving closer, making eye contact, or gently tapping the table before saying anything. And if you do have to say something, say it quietly if the teacher is talking. Double check before acting on big things. If you're unsure whether to intervene, especially with behaviour or instructions, quietly check with the teacher when appropriate. So that's something to ask at a time when the children aren't there. If it's something you've been concerned about, you haven't been sure what to do, ask later on to find out. Stay in sync. If the teacher is giving instructions, pause and wait to see if they want your help or prefer the class to manage independently, because sometimes that's what it's all about. It's getting children to be independent. So don't always jump in. Observe, see what the teacher likes to do. Sometimes the teacher will hand something over to you, so you need to be ready to take the lead when invited. Now, hopefully, this shouldn't happen too soon. Although I've been there, it does sometimes. So it's just about being aware of these things, and as I say, taking the lead when invited. So things like reading with a group, supervising a task, helping a child settle. When that happens, step up with confidence. Remember, you don't have to be perfect, just present and clear. Keep instructions simple, and if you're unsure of something, say, let's check with whatever the teacher's name is. Show you're reliable by doing what you said you'd do. So whether it's gathering resources and handing them out or making notes of reading practice, it's really important if you say you're going to do something that you do it. So use this quick mental checklist. When you think, should I do something here? Run it through this quick mental filter. So first of all, think, is it safe? So an example of this would be you notice a child has pushed their chair back and is leaning dangerously. You quietly walk over and ask them to sit properly. And why this works, you're preventing a possible fall. It's low key, quick, and keeps everyone safe. Think. Is it helpful? Example, the teacher is handing out some worksheets and the children at the back don't have theirs yet. So you help to distribute the remaining sheets. Why this works, you're speeding up the process and helping learning continue smoothly. Again, it's, is it helpful? Does is the teacher about to ask another child to hand those out? It's about judging. Do I help now or do I get another child help? Is it helpful? Think. Is it part of my role or something I've seen done before? So, example, you've seen the teacher ask children to collect their own whiteboards before a task. So, once the teacher finishes explaining the next activity, you quietly remind a group to collect theirs. Why this works? You're reinforcing an established routine, not inventing a new one. And think, have I asked about it or do I feel confident it's okay to act? An example of this is a child is upset and walks away from their table. You've previously discussed with the teacher what to do in these situations so you can follow the plan. Give space for a moment, then quietly check in. Why this works, you're working from prior agreement, not guessing. That shows maturity and professionalism. So, if you can answer yes to at least three of those questions, it's likely a good moment to step in. You're not guessing wildly, you're being safely proactive. And that's exactly what schools value in a TA. So, you don't need a spotlight to make a difference. Some of the best TAs aren't loud, flashy, or over eager. They're calm, observant, quietly supportive, and brilliant at knowing when to act. Taking initiative is about noticing, responding, and respecting the flow of the classroom. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And here's how to take a bit of action with this. Practice the 4 question checklist in real life moments. So write down 3 classroom moments where you could have taken initiative, big or small. So for each one, run it through the checklist. Was it safe? Was it helpful? Was it part of my role or something I'd seen before? Had I asked about it or felt confident to act? If you can say yes to at least 3, it's a green light. I mean, this is just a framework for getting to know the things that you can do. I mean, gradually you will just know because it will be in your subconscious brain and you'll just know what you can do. You'll get to know the teacher, you'll get to know the things that they like you to take the initiative on, and every teacher's different. So don't beat yourself up about taking time over this. It can take, depending on the personality of the teacher and your personality, sometimes it can take longer than others to get to know how someone likes things to be done. And it's worth taking that time. Now, in video 6, we will look at how to understand safeguarding as a new TA, a beginner-friendly intro to spotting concerns, reporting correctly, and keeping yourself and pupils safe. Because you're not expected to handle everything alone. Safeguarding can feel a really big thing. So hopefully video 6 will help you out with this. So that's where I'll see you in video 6.